Since Miami's inception as a city in 1896, Miami's always been really queer, a place where you can transgress and kind of suspend the ideas of reality, even just for a little bit. So whether it was just kind of partaking in a kind of playground, this kind of idea that Miami existed somewhere else, like even just kind of in the mind of places where otherwise you wouldn't be able to do these kinds of things. And sometimes that included transgressing, or kind of even just challenging or defying gender standards, or, women wearing two-piece bathing suits when they weren't allowed to do that yet. They were read as not being respectable women. Miami allowed women to do those kinds of things earlier on than other parts of the country. So we see that happen in sexuality too. The idea of queer people building community and finding spaces and making those spaces their own. In Miami, we see that largely happen really by the 1930s. There was a gay bar called La Paloma, and in November 1937, it was raided. First, not by the police, but first by the Ku Klux Klan, who put a cross not too far from there. They burned it, and this was a place where queer people congregated and worked, and they made their living this way as well. And one of the things that I find so fascinating is that, again, queers resisted, and it's a story of resilience too. Within a few days, they reopen, actually a few weeks, they reopen, and they actually incorporate the Ku Klux Klan's raid into their new show. I mean, they queer the idea of what they're allowed to do. And they kind of think about, hey, how we could take ownership of our lives in ways that are really powerful and meaningful and ways that still have resonance with us today.